Numpy is one of the many libraries that Python has, and it's mainly used for multi-dimensional arrays and matrix support. So you can make arrays and matrices. Most common thing people use is for the array, and it's a special n dimension array. So one of the first things that you want to do is you're going to want to import the library. The most common alias is NP, and that's just how you import it. So then whenever you want to call any function, it's going to be like np dot whatever the function name is. So first, you're probably going to want to set up an array. So the syntax for that is just np.array, and then you put in brackets whatever values you want. And so indexing for this array works the exact same as it works the exact same as other lists, so it starts at 0. And so what this would look like once you run it. So it looks like this. It's an array and it can perform NumPy operations. Couple different functions that are pretty useful is linspace. So np.linspace. So what this is going to do is that this is going to create an evenly spaced array of elements from start to end of a certain size. So like, let's say you wanted to go from like 1 to 5, and you wanted your size to be 10. So you wanted 10 elements in the array. So then when you print that, as you can see, it goes from 0 to 5 inclusive, which is a little bit different how Python usually does ranges. That's not usually inclusive. And the step can change based on your size. But let's say you wanted like the step or increment between two values to be the same, or have control over that, then you're probably going to want to use like a range. So this is essentially the same thing as if you had an array and you put range from 0 to 1, so that it just consolidates that. So then you can do your range as np.a range. And so you have a start, a stop, and then increment default is 1. You can change your increment to, let's say, be like 1.25. And then when you run that, I have to print it so you guys can see what's going on. So then when you print that, that's this array here. So you can see how it increments every time by 1.25. But 5 is not inclusive in a range. NumPy also has different functions for zeros, ones, and identity. So you just input the size. Only thing for identity is that it has to be a square array or matrice. So like for zeros, I can do like, let's say I wanted to make a 2-dimensional, I would put in a tuple of like 3 by 4, and it would fill so it would fill a whole 3 by 4 matrice or array with zeros, and same with ones. But if I wanted to do an identity matrix, I would only put in 3, so this would be a 3 by 3, and as you can see, it's your identity matrix. One of the really nice functions it has is polyfit, which takes in an NumPy array of x values and y values to some degree. So you can do like linear polynomials, so like x squared, x cubed, things like that. So you can get a curve of best fit to plot. And just something to keep in mind when you want to extend this, Numpy also has submodules, so it has also random. So you have np.random, np.linealge, and many more submodules. So like linealge is very useful for doing like matrix operations and solving those things.